minority in Parliament. They've condemned what they call an attempted intimidation of Reverend John Ntim Fordjour, the ranking member of Parliament Interior and Defence Committee, and it's an MP for the Asin South constituency by the National Intelligence Bureau. This follows recent allegations by the NP about two suspicious flights at the Kotoka International Airport, which he claimed were transporting narcotics and some laundered cash. Well, this afternoon, some operatives of the National Intelligence Bureau reportedly attempted to arrest the MP at his Spintex residence for questioning, but were not successful. Now, this was because a number of the NPP bigwigs and supporters who had massed up at their residence prevented the National Intelligence Bureau operatives from effecting the said arrest. There's been repeated calls on the MP to adduce evidence to back his claim or face the consequence. In a recent press release, the Ghana Airports Company denied Reverend Ntim Fordjour's allegation and threatened to take legal action against such falsehood. George Quinn is my colleague. He was there at the residence of Reverend Ntim Fordjour. He's going to be joining us in the studio in a bit. But this is Alexander Apenyomarking, the minority leader at the residence of Reverend Ntim Fordjour earlier today.
The caucus expressed a view through its authorized member, Mr. Ntim Fordjour, a reverend minister and a politician. If government disagree with views expressed, government can also tell a side of the story. This is democracy. It's not about we are inviting you, you come with armed men, about 20 of them. We don't need it. If you disagree, you disagree. In any event, the caucus is calling for a bipartisan inquiry into this matter. We should be able to judge all. But, well, they have de-escalated, they've left, they've gone back to wherever they came from. We want to assure the government that we will cooperate if they approach things in a decent manner. Absolutely. But we will not be intimidated. We will not be intimidated. We are few, but a mighty few and a happy few. There are serious matters for the state to consider. Joblessness, people need jobs, the Galamsey issues. So far, they have not demonstrated seriousness in dealing with the Galamsey. If some agents of the state would want to pay attention to trivialities,
this is democracy.
Then it is going to be the beginning of the end of this government, and it is not necessary at all. They should stop it. We are there to engage them, but let me make it very clear that Reverend cannot be made an example. Reverend is not a loner.
He is never.
He has not walked alone.
Yes. He will
never walk alone.
And he spoke for the minorities.
A ranking member, of course.
As a caucus, we have our various committee heads. Yes. And he is the leader of the Defense and Interior Committee
of the moment
of our caucus. Yeah. And he speaks for the caucus. And he expresses the views of the caucus. So nobody should make any attempt to single him out and try to come here, intimidate him. He walks through this unfortunate valley of the shadow of death. But he will fear no evil. Because he walks with his God. And the strength of the mighty 88 behind him. So please, government officials, enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Stop it. Let's engage. We are political actors. Let's assure the people that we are ready to uphold the promises of the Constitution and democracy. This must stop. Thank you very much.
So that's the minority leader, Alex Anapanyomakin, is an MP for the Futu constituency. If you go on our Facebook page right now, 3FM927, we're showing you videos of exactly how things played out. Reverend Ntim Fordjour's residence on the Spintex Road. The man who witnessed every issue and the things that played out there, interacted with some of the members of parliament on the NPP side. Joining us in the studio right now, George Queenie. It's always good to have you, George. Now, you were there at the residence. How did all of this start? Because we got videos of the National Security operatives storming the house. Then what happened next?
So when I went there at the gates, I think one of the operatives asked why I'm here. I'm like, I work with TV, so I had to show him my press accreditation. So I was made to enter. You could see a lot of them, but whilst you're taking your pictures, they actually would ensure that you don't take them in the picture. You can take the other part, but not them. But you also, I could hear noise in the background. You could hear that the Reverend was resisting the arrest. And then the other party, bigwigs in there. But for me, I think moving forward, if we really want to invite people for investigations of this sort, it should not be this very style. And the leader of the minority caucus actually confirmed the fact that it was not a pleasant sight. I don't know what really transpired inside, but you could hear voices more of resistance.
I see, but you spoke to some of them.
Yeah, I spoke to Upon Nkrumah, MP for Ocansey, and he says government should follow due process. They are ready to collaborate. They are willing to collaborate with them. So if we really want to have a closure on this very case, they are ready to do that. Let's follow due process. So I think we had a soundbite.
Oh, let's take a listen to Kojo Nkrumah. If you're on our Facebook page right now, you'll see that video of that interaction between George Queenie and Kojo Nkrumah earlier today.
Have you seen in Ghana's history that we sent about 20 gun-wielding NIB officers to go and pick him up to come and explain what he said? When? Is this the change? We're not back in a coup era. So that's the first issue, that when the minority caucus is raising questions that there's a particular matter, full-scale public inquiry needs to take place on that matter. You don't send gun-wielding NIB officers. Did you see the guns? AK-47s, cocked people wearing masks and balaclavas all over. This is the democracy.
Moving forward, do you think that
you would move forward? That is the first matter that must be articulated clearly. Okay. That what the government is doing is trying to intimidate the minority caucus. Not even Ntim Fordjour. Ntim Fordjour is just one spokesperson. But this attempt to intimidate the minority caucus by sending, all of this thing, it is unheard of in a democracy. It doesn't happen in a democracy. When we were in power, people were saying all sorts of things. When did you see us sending 20 gun-wielding NIB officers to go and arrest that person? It's not done. That's number one. Number two, even if you want information from a member of parliament, you saw the speaker's notice that he issued quite recently.
You see, and then
you come to parliament, the lawyers of parliament will be there. The person's
parliament's on recess.
The job of a member of parliament does not only take place when parliament is sitting in plenary. So there's clarity on how it's done. You come to parliament, the lawyers of parliament will be there, his lawyers will be there. Whatever questions that you want to ask of him, you can ask of him. But this is totally unheard of, and nobody who believes in democracy should support what is going on.
Okay, moving forward,
that's why we've had to object to it.
Well, the party has explored this option of only giving this, press releases to the leader to just communicate any
committees and have spokespersons on various committees. That's the reason for which we have committees and we have spokespersons on the various committees.
Well, that's Kojo Nkrumah, the first REV member of parliament and also former minister in charge of works and housing, also information minister at some point in the ex-while Nana Addo Dankwa administration. But then again, you spoke to some other MPs as well who were at the place. Dominic Nito as well. Yeah. What exactly did he say?
For him, he actually touched on the immunity of the lawmaker. He says that immunity has been breached, and that was his concern, basically.
Let's hear Dominic Nituo as well.
Well, I'm here because I've been told that there are so many police cars and security cars coming to just arrest one person when the person could have just been invited. Just like what the speaker has always said. You get informed in touch with the speaker. He will release the person, and the person will go. To have over 20, 30 security people, and they're all around like that, we, first of all, decided to come and see whether it is actually true that these things were happening maybe in the 80s and 70s, but not now.
But I think former defense minister there, a number of things happening here is not strange to you. That you should put it.
I will not allow that. I will not allow that people will barge into somebody's house to use Rambo style to arrest the person. In those days, I will not allow that.
It happened, obviously. This is not a point to equalize.
I want to tell you something. If it came to my attention, I would never have allowed that. Okay. It doesn't matter if I have allowed that type of thing. And I want to be frank that if it came to my attention that people march onto somebody's house, we would never have allowed that. And I don't believe any NPP government would allow such a thing to happen. This is how we go about this.
How should it be handled differently?
Listen, a member of parliament or any other person, once we invite him, you come and inform, police will come. If you have committed a crime, they will tell you what it is and tell you that you are under arrest and for this reason. If they will tell you that, look, whatever you say will be used in the court of law against you. But there are standard procedures for arresting MPs nowadays. It's not law, but there are conventions that we created them. So you write to the speaker or through leadership, and they always come. There are several MPs that have been invited, and they all honored it. Several MPs from our side. Of course, the NDC has not invited any MP from their side. But I can tell you there are several MPs that have been invited. They all honored it. This will not be a new thing. Yeah. What we don't want to see is what is happening. It's giving a bad name to the government and to the country. It's not good. We hand it over peacefully to the state. If somebody has committed something, let's know. In other case, what did he say? Did he accuse? Go back and look at the statement. Did he even accuse government? Did he accuse anybody?
They say he should assist in investigation. That is what is happening at this point.
You don't assist in investigation by carrying over 20, 30 soldiers and police to come and arrest the person. For what? What is it for? Is that how to assist in investigation?
What's the way forward for the New Patriotic Party and the minority?
Two MPs have been invited. They have not yet come. Honorable Mustafa and the independent MP from Gomoa, something, A+. They wrote to the speaker, and the speaker gave them a date. On this, they come meet the MPs. Why are we doing this? What is it for? Why is his case different?
Well, that's Dominic Neto, the former defense minister, indeed, talking about what would have happened if he was there as defense minister. But then again, looking at how things played out at the residence of the MP for the Ascent South constituency, did he come out? Mm-hmm. And at what point did the minority MPs arrive there?
So I actually got a call around, I got a call from him that was around 12:16. I got there like 3. So around 3:30, that's when I saw Alfred and the others coming in. And actually what transpired inside, I can't really tell. So in an hour time, they came out, addressed the media. But one thing was, he was asked to stay mute. He tried talking, but Alfred just told him not to talk. So Alfred did all the talking, and then they had to whisk him in a car and then left the place. But I can confirm that he will not be sleeping in his residence today.
Yeah. Is that what he told you?
No, but I can confirm that he will not be sleeping there today. Maybe, because they didn't come with our arrest warrant, it's a reason they couldn't arrest him. So what if they come later with a warrant? So I'm sure he is not going to sleep at his residence. I can confirm that.
I see, but then again, there's been a lot that's been happening in this regard. Mm-hmm. Alexander Penyomakin indicated what they intend to do going forward, and also reiterated the process that he says should be in place for an arrest of this nature. So how did all of this end? At what point did the National Intelligence Bureau officials who went to the place leave the place eventually?
That was when Apenyomaki came with some of the party executives, and then in 30 minutes, I don't know what discussion they had, but clearly they didn't come with an arrest warrant, and that was not a legal way of trying to come and arrest someone to assist in the investigation. So after that discussion in the apartment, they had to leave, and then they addressed the media, and that was, they had to whisk him away from his residence.
George, I appreciate you for this, and I thank you so much for the update on how things played out at the residence of the Member of Parliament for the Asin South Constituency, Reverend Ntim Fjo. And let's go on to the telephone lines now. Richard Commando is a security risk and security consultant. He's been following this particular issue quite closely, and he's joining us on the telephone for a quick conversation on this. So, Commando, appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Hot Edition.
You're welcome, Alfred. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you. But you looking at how things played out today, and because I know that this is one that you had predicted that if he doesn't cooperate, there's a possibility of this happening.
You remember I forewarned him last week. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm laughing.
I see. So now the minority's position is that, look, due process has to be followed to the extent that even though Parliament is on recess, they should have notified the Speaker for the Speaker to release him, as was the case with A+ and then also the former Youth and Sports Minister, but not this way. Is this one that you agree with?
I said, there are too many things being said. When you ask your reporter 3 questions, he dodged 2 of them. You see, somebody is screwing the narrative, and the narrative has been screwed. I said, let me ask you this, or let me speak from my mind. Considering how political our brother MP's statement has become between NDC and NPP, you believe that BNI operatives or NIB operatives will walk to his house without an arrest warrant? If actually that is what they want to do, it is not true. The BNI will do 2 things. One, they will invite you, or number 2, they will arrest you. If they decide to arrest you, nothing stops the arrest unless Jesus Christ descends. And guess what? We discussed this thing over and over again, and I explained to the general public the circumstances under which you can be arrested without an arrest warrant. I think somebody screwed the narrative, and that is why we are having this conversation. But I can agree with you 100% that they can use the channel they use for A+ and the other MP. But all cases are not the same. All cases run differently. It depends on the leader of the team. It depends on the exigencies of the time. It depends on exactly what they want to do at what particular time and what results they want to achieve. I will beg to differ that if somebody has taken pictures, just like it's on social media, and say these are BNI officers, they work in the place, they were not allowed to get to where the Fordjour money, but they were prevented in the premises, as the media is being reported. I think there are a lot of half-truths, and there are a lot of things that are not being said correctly.
I see. Now, you say it would be rare and for you out of place for the National Intelligence Bureau officials to have gone to this place without a warrant if they were there to arrest him.
Definitely. And if they want to arrest him without a warrant, then they are entering there on a certificate of emergency. And if that is the option that is on the table, nothing stops them from executing it. I'm telling you this as a result of core standard practices that has been sanctioned, and there are sanctioning procedures for officers who go on the field. I suspect, I don't want to say because it does not come into the narrative, I suspect these are law enforcement officers who have been brought together from other security agencies with NIB officers or BNI officers. BNI officers do not dress in military uniform. BNI officers do not wear guns around their neck like they are Marines or Special Forces and they are going to hand Osama bin Laden. These are well-trained officers, and I think somebody screwed the headline for political reasons, and that is why we are having this conversation.
See, not just for the benefit of the education, under what circumstance can the National Intelligence Bureau effect arrest without a warrant?
Or they can search without a search warrant.
Right.
For instance, when they have a reason to believe that if they do not arrest you, it will create a national security problem. If they have a belief or they've come to conclusion based on intelligence that you have to be arrested now or you have to be searched now for the purposes for which they were there, they will do it and they will let you know. Or they had a tip-off that you are engaging in some activities that poses threat to you yourself or to your neighborhood or to the environment or to the state. Then they will effect an arrest immediately. For instance, a typical one is you are driving on the road and you crash somebody's car and there's a police officer around, the police officer will not go and look for arrest warrant. They have the power to arrest you there immediately, even though they are not having arrest warrant. And so that is the way it works. Then you are driving on the road and you got involved in an accident, and the one who caused the accident wants to run away. That person will be arrested. The premises can be searched, the car can be searched, and many of those things can be searched without a search warrant. That is a state of emergency. So these are some of the few reasons why you can be arrested and you can be searched without a search warrant. But Alfred, then again, considering the political nature of Uncle Fordjour and what we are dealing with, I will cut off my head if the BNI officers will walk into his premises and arrest is on the table and they will not go with arrest warrant. That is not the BNI and that is not the NIB.
So if it happens that indeed, because the minority MPs who stormed the place are insisting that indeed this action was taken without a warrant.
They didn't arrest him. So there are two things I was saying. If they are there to invite him, it's a different thing.
Yeah, but if you so their question is that if you're going to invite, for instance, let's assume that that's the case, you don't go there with this number of operatives.
No, so that's what I was explaining to you, that what is being shown on social media, the officers I'm seeing there are not from the BNI. There might be BNI officers involved, but those ones they are showing are not from the BNI. But the minority screw the headline, because after these are two things I've just explained to you. The BNI invitations can be done in person or in any other means appropriately. But once the BNI walk into your premises and arrest is on the table, nothing stops the execution. No matter the numbers that troop in there, no matter whatever you do, once arrest is on the table, it will be executed. So let's speak to the core practices and the best practices, because one story says that they were inside, but they did not go to the room where he is. Alfred, if the BNI or the NIB entered your premises and you are the target for arrest, wherever you are in that house, they will look for you and they will arrest you. If they have a problem with his premises being, searched or people coming there, I can understand that this is NDC NPP. But let's not say that the BNI or the NIB got there to arrest him without an arrest warrant. That is not a true story. And from my checks,
Thank you so much.